You're here, I'm here, and we're back again. And what we're going to talk about this evening is second fermentation of our apple wine. So what we're going to do is siphon our 1 gallon bucket of the concentrated apple wine we have in here. And we are going to put it into this lovely carboy. Now I have already disinfected and bleached everything, so it's ready to go. All of my instruments here are disinfected and bleached and ready to go, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I hope that you enjoy my new background here. It's something I've worked up. A little bit different from the kitchen, and I just thought, let's move it. Let's move the location to somewhere more private, right? Let me take my cute little tag. I thought that these were just the sweetest little things to have like on the bottles and everything, because you know, not only do they have the silver sparkles on this side, but they have like another little white cardboard tag or whatever, and you could just like write down your recipe. You could write down what the percentage was instead of having to use like ugly tape or whatever. Like if you want to be that extra like I am, these tags are awesome. Target. We're just gonna go ahead and take the lid off of here, set it aside. Let me just take a very good whiff of the aroma here. You can smell that cinnamon and it just smells delicious. So always use disinfectant products. The reason why I'm going to take this now and put it into our little beaker here is because it's really good to get an idea of where our wine fermentation is heading, like where it's at. Where are you at? Have you stopped? Are you going? Have you completed already before you got to second fermentation? We need to know. So this is the best way to find out what our wine is doing. I did get this beaker because I had to order it through Amazon. This beaker is through Fermentaholics, and it is a 250 milliliter beaker. I would recommend getting something smaller if you can find it. This is plastic, but it does work very nice. And usually Fermentaholics does work with a lot of kombucha products, but kombucha is the same thing, like it's fermenting, right? So if you need a beaker, I'm recommending Fermentaholics for you. I'm not getting paid for that. This has reached the 0% mark. It is at 1.100, which means that my yeast has already consumed all of the sugar. So what I'm going to do is, before we pour our wine in here, we really need to do another step. We're going to add more sugar. If we know that this has already reached its full potential, the sugar has already been eaten up by the yeast, and we still haven't put it into secondary fermentation yet, which happens 2 weeks or a week after primary fermentation, we're going to have to add a little bit more sugar because we don't want that yeast to die. We want to give them something to eat to keep fermenting just a little bit more. What I'm going to do is, I took 1 cup of water here. I added 1 cup of sugar, mixed it very well together. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour this sugar water into our carboy. All of this stuff that I have used is sterilized, so I'm just going to go ahead, take out this, and I'm going to take what I have in the beaker and pour it in here. Now that we're here to this step, I have this auto siphon, and it's disinfected, and we have our disinfected tubing. It's going to be a tight, snug fit, which is a good thing. Okay, you're going to put your tubing in here at the bottom of the carboy, and we are going to go ahead and start auto siphoning. Now, because this is sitting up higher, gravity is what pulls it into the carboy. We're just gonna let this flow into here. While this is just doing its thing, I just want to let you all know I'm happy that I'm here with you today to be able to hang out with me here. It's turning out really pretty. Another thing too is I'm not going to add another cinnamon stick or allspice to this just because we don't want it to be too spicy. I just want to give it enough of the cinnamon sticks and allspice to just give it that touch of flavor. So one thing I've learned is the more cinnamon sticks and allspice you add, that adds into tannin. And did you know that tannin can actually be acidic? It helps with the acidity. So the more tannin, the more acidic. We don't want so much acidity in our wine here, but we do need enough acidity to keep it. That's gonna be my next video. Acidity and keeping it. I hope you guys are ready for that one. It's coming soon. Look for back to basics. Back to basics, acidity. Next video, look out for it. This is filling up. You can see it's getting to the neck here, and that's pretty much where we're gonna stop. So all I have to do is raise this up and it stopped. Okay, no more suctions happening. And when you pull the hose out, you can kind of see that the levels start to go down in the neck, and that's okay. Like we want a little bit of area for fermenting breathing room, especially for the gases. Okay, next step is going to be putting our little cork in here in our airlock full of water. And now we are just going to let this set aside. You want it in a cool, dark place as usual. And what's going to happen is this is going to clear. This could take anywhere from a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on your wine. My wine will tell me when it's ready to be racked, and my wine is going to tell me when it's done, right? Pay attention to your wines. It's not always by the book. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside now after 2 weeks. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if you watched my previous video, you can see like this was full. It was just like full of fruit, you know? And the cinnamon sticks, they are still intact in here, and the allspices, but the fruit, it's completely brown. It's mush. There's really nothing left to the apples that were in here. But what I want to do is I'm going to use my poor man's wine thief. And I know it's all mixed up now, so it's going to look really cloudy. But I just want to take a sample and see what it tastes like. Okay, so this is dry. It definitely needed the other cup of sugar. It needs a little bit more alcohol content. You can tell that it's a really good drinking wine. You can definitely taste the apple in it. You can taste the cinnamon, which is really, really good, but it definitely needed that another cup of sugar. Like, you can tell when it's a little bit too low on the alcohol volume side that it just needs to be brought up just a little bit more. That's definitely going to give it a little bit more body. Not saying it doesn't have any body. It definitely does. It needs to be brought up a little bit higher. Especially me, I want my wines to have a little bit more higher alcohol content because I want them to last longer. And also, they need to have a good high acidity content as well. And like I already hinted to you guys, it's going to be my next Back to Basics video. If you guys were here and you guys got to see my wonderful background and hang out with me this long, I really and gratefully appreciate it. I'm so glad to have you guys here for this evening or day. Hoy es un buen día, which means today is a good day in Spanish. especially here on my channel. And peace and love to you all. And don't forget, happy brewing. Oh wait, and cheers to you. I don't have my wine cup, but we have beakers, so cheers to you. That's good. You ever had an angry orchard? Think about an angry orchard, but a wine. That's what this is. Cheers.